If you're here right now, listening, it's not by chance. The universe doesn't work in coincidences, and the timing of this moment was meant for you. Something powerful is happening within you, something you may not fully understand just yet, but deep down, you can feel it. Maybe you've been praying, hoping, or waiting for a breakthrough, and it hasn't come. Maybe you've wondered why the things you desire feel so far out of reach. But let me remind you, your journey isn't random. You've been chosen for something greater than what you see now. And even if the road feels long and winding, know that your destiny is unfolding exactly as it should. There are moments in life when doubt seems overwhelming. You may have questioned your worth, your purpose, or whether you're even on the right path. But here's the truth. You are not here by accident. You are a chosen vessel, placed on this earth with a purpose so grand that it transcends the circumstances you're facing. The challenges, the setbacks, and the confusion you've experienced are not there to defeat you. They are there to prepare you. Even when you can't see the full picture, even when you feel like you're lost, trust that the universe is aligning everything perfectly, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. Consider the greatest visionaries of history. They were misunderstood, ridiculed, and rejected. They faced opposition that could have easily broken them, but it didn't. Why? Because their purpose was anchored within them, and no external force could take it away. That same power resides in you. The doubts you feel aren't a sign of weakness. They're a sign that you're on the brink of something monumental. Doubt only arises when you're standing at the edge of transformation. If you weren't meant for greatness, you wouldn't be feeling this inner resistance. It's the resistance that shapes you, molds you, and refines you for what's ahead. Sometimes, the hardest part of the journey is accepting that you don't have to understand everything right now. We live in a world that craves clarity and certainty, but life doesn't always give us that luxury. The universe operates on a level far beyond what our minds can comprehend. Just as a parent makes decisions a child may not understand, life often unfolds in ways that seem confusing, even painful. But those moments of confusion are not signs of failure. They're signs of growth. When you embrace the unknown and trust that every step, even the ones that don't make sense, is leading you to your destiny, you unlock a power within yourself that cannot be shaken. Think about the people who changed the course of history. Their journeys weren't linear. They experienced setbacks that would have discouraged anyone else. Yet, they trusted the process. Take Joseph, for example. Sold into slavery by his own brothers and thrown into prison for a crime he didn't commit. But what seemed like the end of his story was just the beginning. He rose to power and saved nations from famine. That's the thing about life's challenges. They're not meant to destroy you. They're meant to build you, to shape you into the person who can handle the magnitude of your purpose. The same is true for you. The confusion you feel, the obstacles you face, and the moments when you want to give up are all part of the plan. You're being refined, just as gold is purified in fire. Without the pressure, without the heat, you wouldn't discover the strength that lies within you. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. What feels like a delay is actually divine timing, ensuring that when you receive what you're destined for, you're ready to handle it. Faith is the bridge that carries you through the uncertainty. It's the belief in what you cannot see, the trust that even when the ground beneath you feels unstable, you're being held. Faith doesn't require you to have all the answers. It requires you to take the next step, even when you can't see the whole path. And here's the secret. It's often in those moments of uncertainty that you grow the most. When everything is clear, there's no need for faith. But when you're walking in the dark, unsure of where you're headed, that's when your faith is tested and strengthened. Think back to the times in your life when you felt lost. Now look at where you are. Haven't those moments of uncertainty been the ones that led to the most growth? Haven't they been the turning points that shaped who you are today? It's not the easy moments that define you. It's the moments when you had every reason to give up, but chose to keep going. Those are the moments that build resilience, strength, and wisdom. And as you continue forward, remember that you're never alone. The path you're walking is divinely orchestrated. Every detour, every obstacle, and every delay is part of a greater plan. There's a reason why you're facing what you're facing. And though you may not see it now, one day you'll look back and understand that everything happened exactly as it was meant to. Your journey isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about who you become along the way. Each challenge is an invitation to trust deeper, to lean into the unknown, and to surrender control. Control is an illusion, and the sooner you release your grip on it, the freer you'll feel. When you stop trying to force outcomes and start trusting that everything is unfolding as it should, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. That doesn't mean you won't face storms. It means you'll face them with the knowledge that they're temporary and that you're strong enough to weather them. The journey isn't meant to be easy, but it's meant to be worth it. The struggles you face today are setting the stage for the victories you'll celebrate tomorrow. And those victories won't just be for you. They'll be for everyone you inspire along the way. Your growth, your resilience, and your ability to rise after every fall will become a beacon of hope for those who are still searching for their own path. You'll become living proof that it's possible to rise, to overcome, and to thrive. But don't rush the process. Growth takes time. Just as seeds planted in the soil don't sprout overnight, your dreams, your purpose, and your breakthroughs need time to bloom. Trust that the waiting isn't wasted time. It's preparation. Every delay is teaching you patience. Every setback is building your strength. And every challenge is revealing your potential. When the time is right, everything will fall into place. And you'll realize that the journey was always leading you exactly where you were meant to be. It's natural to crave answers, to want to know how everything will turn out. But faith isn't built on certainty. It's built on trust. When you find yourself in a season of waiting, when the silence feels deafening and the path ahead seems unclear, remember this: waiting is not a punishment. It's a period of preparation, a time when the universe is aligning everything perfectly. What feels like stagnation is actually growth happening beneath the surface, like a seed planted deep in the soil. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. Growth often takes place in the unseen, in the quiet spaces where patience is cultivated and strength is forged. Consider how nature operates. The seasons follow their cycles without rushing. The trees don't bloom before their time, and the rivers don't flow against their course. There's wisdom in the timing of the natural world, a wisdom that applies to your life as well. You're not being left behind. You're being prepared. Every step, even the ones that feel like they're leading nowhere, is part of the process. And when the time is right, you'll see why you had to wait. Patience isn't easy, especially in a world that thrives on instant gratification. We're conditioned to want quick results and immediate answers, but the most meaningful growth doesn't happen quickly. It happens gradually, through seasons of waiting, through moments of uncertainty, and through the quiet work that goes on behind the scenes. Trust that the delay isn't denial, it's timing. And when the pieces finally come together, you'll understand why you had to go through what you did. In these moments of waiting, fear and doubt often creep in. You may wonder if you've missed your chance or if you're even on the right path. But fear is just a shadow. It only has power if you let it. When fear rises, remind yourself that it's not permanent. Fear is a temporary response to uncertainty, but faith is a permanent foundation. And the more you lean into your faith, the less room there is for fear to take hold. Think about the leaders and visionaries who faced their fears and still moved forward. Nelson Mandela endured years of imprisonment, yet his faith and his purpose never wavered. He believed in a future that no one else could see, and that belief became his guiding light. His courage wasn't the absence of fear, it was the ability to act despite it. You have that same courage within you. You may not feel it every day, but it's there, waiting for you to tap into it when you need it most. Fear will try to convince you that you're not enough, that the challenges ahead are too great, and that failure is inevitable. But faith whispers a different message. It reminds you that you've already overcome so much, that you've survived every storm life has thrown at you, and that you have the strength to keep going. When fear tells you to stop, faith tells you to take one more step. And often, that one step is all it takes to move past the fear and into the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Remember that even when the road ahead feels uncertain, you are never alone. The universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in is walking this path with you. You don't have to carry the weight of the journey on your own. When the burden feels heavy, when the challenges seem too much to bear, surrender it. Let go of the need to control everything and trust that you're being guided by something greater than yourself. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the illusion of control. It means accepting that you don't have to have all the answers right now. Think of a sailboat on the ocean. The sailor doesn't control the wind, but they adjust their sails to navigate it. In the same way, you can't control every outcome, but you can trust that the winds of life are guiding you where you need to go. And even when the seas are rough, you have the tools to weather the storm. There's a peace that comes with surrender, a peace that can't be found in control. When you let go of the need to know exactly how everything will unfold, you free yourself from the stress and anxiety that come with trying to predict the future. Instead, you open yourself to the possibility of miracles, to outcomes that are even greater than what you imagined. The universe has a way of surprising us when we least expect it, but only when we're willing to let go of rigid expectations. Throughout history, those who embraced surrender and trust found themselves walking paths that led to extraordinary outcomes. Abraham was called to leave everything he knew and journey to an unknown land. He didn't know what awaited him, but he trusted that he was being led to something greater. His obedience wasn't blind, it was rooted in faith. and that faith set the foundation for a legacy that would impact generations to come. Your journey is no different. The steps you're taking today, even the uncertain ones, are laying the groundwork for a future you can't fully see yet. As you move forward, you'll face moments when surrender feels difficult, when the urge to control everything is strong. But in those moments, remind yourself of the times when surrender led to unexpected blessings. Reflect on the moments when you let go and things fell into place in ways you couldn't have planned. Trust that the same will happen again. You don't have to know the how or when to trust that it's coming. The universe has a way of making sure that what's meant for you will never miss you. Obedience to your path, even when it doesn't make sense, is an act of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to trust when logic tells you otherwise, to keep going when the road ahead is unclear. But the greatest breakthroughs often come right after the moments when you wanted to give up. The universe rewards persistence, and those who keep moving forward, even when it's difficult, are the ones who experience the most profound growth. Consider the story of Ruth, who remained loyal to her purpose even in the face of personal loss. Her obedience led her to a future she could never have imagined, a future that was filled with blessings beyond what she thought possible. That same potential exists for you. Your obedience, your willingness to trust the process, is setting the stage for blessings that you can't yet see. And through it all, love remains your constant. The love of the universe, of God, is unwavering. It doesn't waver based on your mistakes or your doubts. It's a love that sees you for who you truly are and calls you to rise above your circumstances. When everything else feels uncertain, let that love be your anchor. Let it remind you that you're never truly alone and that you are always enough. This love will carry you through the hardest moments, through the nights when doubt feels overwhelming, and the days when progress feels non-existent. It will remind you to trust the timing of your life, to believe that every delay has a purpose, and to know that you're being guided towards something extraordinary. As you move through life, you'll begin to see that every setback, every moment of confusion, and every obstacle you faced had a purpose. It wasn't just about testing your resilience, it was about preparing you for the magnitude of what's coming. You may not have understood it then, but each trial was a building block, each failure a lesson, and each delay a redirection towards something greater. It's often in hindsight that we see how the pieces fit together, how the things that once felt like detours were actually guiding us to exactly where we needed to be. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's hard to believe that the sun will shine again. But storms are temporary, and they always pass. The key is to remember that the storm isn't here to destroy you. It's here to cleanse, to test, and to strengthen you. Think of the story of David and Goliath. David didn't face the giant with fear. He faced it with faith. His confidence didn't come from knowing the outcome. It came from knowing that he wasn't facing the battle alone. That same confidence is available to you. No matter how insurmountable your challenges may seem, trust that you have the strength to overcome them. When you trust in the bigger picture, the fear of the unknown begins to lose its power. You start to understand that the challenges you face aren't roadblocks, they're stepping stones. What seems like a mountain today will one day be a story of triumph that you tell with pride. The moments that make you feel like giving up are the very moments that will define your resilience. They're the moments when you discover just how strong you are and just how capable you've always been. And even in the hardest times, remember that you're never without guidance. The universe is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways you can't always see. It's like a tapestry being woven. Up close, the threads may seem chaotic and disconnected, but when you step back, you see the beautiful picture that's been created. Your life is that tapestry, and every thread, even the ones that seem out of place, is part of the design. Surrendering to this design doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It means taking inspired action, trusting that each step you take is part of a larger plan. It means showing up, even when you're unsure, and giving your best effort, knowing that the universe will meet you halfway. When you act with faith, you create momentum, and that momentum opens doors you didn't even know existed. Think about the times when things fell into place in ways you couldn't have predicted. Maybe it was a chance meeting with someone who helped you, an opportunity that appeared out of nowhere, or a solution that presented itself just when you needed it most. Those moments weren't coincidences. They were proof that the universe is always working in your favor, even when you don't realize it. Trust that more of those moments are on their way, and that the waiting is part of the process. But waiting doesn't mean sitting still. It means preparing. It means using the time you have now to grow, to learn, and to become the person who's ready to receive what you've been asking for. Think of a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout immediately. It takes time, nurturing, and the right conditions to grow. The same is true for your dreams and goals. They need time to develop, and during that time, you're being shaped into the person who can handle the blessings that are coming. This period of preparation is a gift, even if it doesn't always feel like it. It's a time to reflect, to refine your vision, and to build the foundation for the life you want. The challenges you face now are like the weight you lift at the gym. They're strengthening you, making you more resilient and capable. Without them, you wouldn't be ready for the opportunities ahead. Embrace this time, knowing that it's not wasted. Every lesson, every setback, and every victory is contributing to your growth. And as you grow, you'll notice something incredible happening. The fears that once held you back will start to fade. The doubts that once plagued your mind will lose their grip. You'll begin to trust yourself in ways you never have before. You'll recognize that you don't need all the answers right now because you have something even more powerful: faith in your ability to adapt, to persevere, and to succeed. Faith isn't about knowing the future. It's about trusting that whatever comes, you have the strength to face it. It's about believing that the universe has your back, even when things don't go according to plan. It's about understanding that delays are not denials, and that what's meant for you will always find its way to you. You don't have to chase it or force it. You just have to stay aligned with your purpose and let the rest unfold naturally. This alignment comes from living authentically, from embracing who you are and trusting that you're enough. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of success. You don't have to have it all figured out to take the next step. What matters is that you keep moving, keep learning, and keep trusting the process. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. And as long as you're making progress, you're on the right path. One of the most powerful things you can do is to shift your focus from what you don't have to what you do have. Gratitude is a magnet for blessings. When you appreciate what you have, you create space for more. It's not about settling. It's about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life and using that as a foundation to build on. When you approach life with a mindset of gratitude, you attract more reasons to be grateful. Think of the people who inspire you. They didn't reach their level of success by focusing on what they lacked. They focused on their strengths, on their opportunities, and on the progress they were making. You have that same power. You have the ability to shift your perspective and see the beauty in the journey, even when it's challenging. And when you do, you'll find that the challenges don't seem as overwhelming. They become part of the story you'll tell one day, a story of perseverance, growth, and triumph. This is your journey, and it's unfolding perfectly, even if it doesn't always feel that way. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be, and that everything you're going through is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. You don't have to rush or force anything. Just keep showing up, keep believing, and keep trusting that your breakthrough is on its way. As you continue to walk this path, you'll realize that the challenges you face are not here to punish you, but to refine you. Every difficulty is like a chisel, sculpting away the parts of you that no longer serve your purpose, revealing the masterpiece hidden within. Just as a sculptor chips away at stone to create something magnificent, the trials you face are carving out the version of you that's capable of achieving greatness. It may feel uncomfortable at times, even painful, but growth is rarely comfortable. The most beautiful transformations happen when you step outside of what's familiar and embrace the unknown. This transformation isn't just about what you achieve externally. It's about who you become internally. The success you seek will be a reflection of the inner work you've done, the resilience you've built, and the faith you've nurtured. The people who achieve lasting success are the ones who understand that their outer world is a mirror of their inner world. They've learned to cultivate patience, discipline, and trust within themselves, knowing that when they're aligned internally, everything else falls into place. You're on that same journey. With each step, you're becoming someone who is not easily shaken by external circumstances. You're learning that setbacks aren't signs of failure. They're opportunities to pivot, to reassess, and to come back stronger. When something doesn't work out, it's not the end of the story. It's a chapter that's leading you to the next. And with each chapter, you're getting closer to the life you're meant to live. There will be times when the weight of your challenges feels overwhelming, when you question whether you can keep going. In those moments, remind yourself of the strength you've already shown. Think of the obstacles you've overcome, the moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, but did. That strength is still within you, and it will carry you through whatever comes next. The fact that you've made it this far is proof that you have what it takes to keep going. Let go of the idea that you need to be perfect to succeed. Perfection is an illusion, a standard that no one can meet. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep trying, and keep learning. Mistakes aren't failures, they're lessons. Every time you fall, you're given an opportunity to rise stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because they're part of the process. What sets successful people apart isn't that they never fail. It's that they never stop trying. As you continue to trust the process, you'll notice that your perspective begins to shift. The things that once seemed like obstacles will start to look like opportunities. The delays that once frustrated you will begin to feel like blessings in disguise. You'll understand that everything is happening for you, not to you. The universe isn't working against you. It's working in your favor, even when it doesn't seem like it. Trusting this truth is what allows you to move forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. And as you move forward, you'll discover that your journey isn't just about you. The lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, and the wisdom you've acquired are meant to be shared. Your story will inspire others, showing them that it's possible to overcome adversity and achieve their dreams. You don't have to have all the answers or be at the end of your journey to make an impact. Just by being authentically you, by showing up and persevering, you're creating a ripple effect that will touch the lives of those around you. Think of the people who have inspired you. They didn't inspire you because they were perfect. They inspired you because they were real. They faced challenges and overcame them. They showed you that it's okay to struggle, to fail, and to feel lost sometimes. And through their journey, you found hope. You have the power to do the same for someone else. Your story, your resilience, and your authenticity can be a source of light for someone who's walking a similar path.